Okay, hello, dear friends. I hope everyone is well on the path and continuing on the path. I wanted to host this live stream to give people the opportunity to ask some questions and do my best to answer in a way that's helpful and leading forward on the path of peace and freedom. So, the big question I'm sure that many of our community members or the followers of me have is about the Discord server. I did close down the Discord server, and certainly not a decision that I take lightly, but it's something that I felt was necessary for me to do to take the next step in my monastic life. Um, I think because I put myself out there so much and I try to be very accessible and work with a lot of people, as many as I can, some people may get the wrong idea about what I am doing as a monk and maybe give the perception that, I am kind of doing social media work or trying to build a following or something along those lines. And of course, I don't mind that people follow me, just like I don't mind that people support me. I mean, I appreciate that a lot, and I get a lot of benefit from supporting other people to be on the path as well, and to kind of follow in my wake and share my experience with people. It's very uh, big part of my path. But I want to focus more on renunciation and going deeper within myself and the Discord server that we built is a wonderful and good. And I'm not saying that there won't be another Discord in the future, but for now, I took that decision to kind of renounce that and put that down. And I hope everyone knows that I'm still here, I'm still available. If you need support, if you need resources on the path, I'm here to help as much as I can. And the website is still up, monklife.one. So we have the recommended teachers and guided meditations and a kind of introductory points for Buddhist practice and all that. Um, so yeah, like the message says on the website, impermanence is life. And life is really like that. Things come together, plans are made, expectations are built or established, and then in the blink of an eye, everything vanishes. So that's an important teaching to understand. Uh, this will be an opportunity if anyone tunes in and has questions. I'm happy to answer them as best I can. Right now, I'm in South Korea. I'm following a meditation master here, a little bit outside Seoul, South Korea, and gearing up for the 3 month retreat in India with my master Sayadaw Otamasara. And of course, there's still an open invitation for anyone who's a part of our community to come and join for a short time or for a long time during our 3 month rains retreat in Bodh Gaya, India. You can reach out to me, just book a ticket, show up, and I'll be there to support. Let's hear a sound of the bell. Wake up our Buddha mind as if it could not be awake. So, as much as I would like to be enlightened, fully, completely enlightened, I'm certainly not. So, I'm doing my best to continue in my monastic path and practicing meditation seriously, following precepts, being around the Buddhist community, my teacher, other teachers that I know about, staying connected to their communities. Um, so this life, whether you're a monk like me, or whether you're not a monk, or whether you like me or don't like me, or whether you like yourself or don't like yourself, whatever it is, um, this is it. This is that moment. This is the refreshing point. This is the beginning point. This is the transformation point. This is the true wisdom and true peace point, right here and right now. And to recognize that, we have to be very serious about it. Facing this moment, facing this experience, coming home to our heart, our center of awareness, really being here right now and staying in that, abiding in that, dwelling in that. So it doesn't matter what I say or what I don't say or what I do or what I don't do as a teacher, as a monk, etc. Uh, this is what you should do. Come back to this. Meditate, embody, empower in this moment, in whatever moment, mindfulness, present moment awareness, really now, of your breathing, of seeing, of the body being here. And whatever you get involved with or get stuck on or believe in, some opinion, some preference, some idea that overrides your freedom, detach from that. Put that down, abandon that. Impermanence is life. Everything is changing one moment to the next. But unless we look closely, unless we kind of make the mind, in a certain sense, make the mind or be the mind or aware of the mind, with the fullness and with the clarity of the bell, we won't notice that. We won't be aware of how impermanent phenomena are. Our thoughts, our ideas, our opinions, our perceptions, our plans, all of that. We're not going to be aware of how truly impermanent they are unless we can bring up the mind of the bell. And that mind of the bell is kind of like a piercing sound. Renunciation is not rejection, it's more like a letting go. And most of the people, as far as I'm aware, that follow me, right, and the people who are here watching this or watch this in the later now, are not monks. So you don't have to renounce your family. You don't have to abandon your life to practice meditation more seriously, to listen to Dhamma talks more seriously, to follow precepts, 5 precepts more seriously, to do good deeds more seriously. And that's kind of the building up. You're building up to a great capacity of letting go, or a great capacity of being aware of thoughts, or being aware of intense experiences, and then not to identify with them. So renunciation is not rejection, in the same way that I pick up this flask of hot water and I put it down instead of throwing it across the room. So it's very subtle. And life and the mind is also very subtle. But unless we take time to look at life, to look at the mind, to experience the heart, mind, body, breathing now, then we're not going to see how wonderful it is to go into meditation. We're not going to see how profound it is to hear the Dhamma, to listen to the Dhamma, to be at Buddhist temples, to be around monks, to choose to continue on this journey of the journey to enlightenment, or the recognition of our enlightenment. And then we may pursue cheeseburgers. We may be concerned with cheeseburgers or sexual experiences or watching YouTube videos, etc., versus um, freedom, right? And it's not really, it's less about we do this or we do that. That's cause and effect, and that's going to have a major impact on your life. So what you do, there will be a corresponding effect. What you don't do, well, there won't be a corresponding effect because you didn't do that, right? So it's not just about you do this or you don't do that, or you're this kind of person or you're that kind of person. But what is this continuation body? What is this awareness body, right? What is this mind, body, breathing, seeing, hearing, feeling, experiencing flow concerned with? And that's what uh, is going to give the most benefit. What we are concerned with, what we are involved with, what we are engaged with overall for the long term. Because yes, you do a bad thing, you go to hell. You do a good thing, maybe you go to heaven. Okay, you become a ghost, you become a dog, you become a god, a happy, powerful person, a free, powerful being, a king, something like that. But all of that is impermanent. So getting concerned with the truth, getting concerned with freedom, getting concerned with the practice of meditation as best you can. And the more that you take on the responsibility of doing the best that you can, that's how much you can be helped. That's how many doors will be open for you, right? Now, in terms of the robes, I'm supposed to be a monk, so why do I wear different robes? Because people gave me these robes, because they represent traditions that I've had experience in and stay connected to. And being a monk is not about the surface level appearance or the cultural appearance. In terms of the cultural appearance of being a monk, I'm never going to be able to live up to that because I'm a Western man. I'm a white person. So monks are, culturally supposed to be Asian and maybe wear one particular robe or one particular style, but I don't really believe in that. My life as a monk is an expression of my choice, my concern with freedom over sensual pleasures, over being a businessman, over having relationships with people. It's to be free. That's what these robes represent. Questions? Anyone have questions? It's very likely that we will, or I will, start a new Discord server, a new meditation community on the Discord platform. That's very likely, but not now. I need some time to focus within myself and to figure some things out um, in terms of my methodologies of teaching and also my methodologies of personal practice. And in the meantime, it's possible that you can reach out to me easily by phone, by iMessage, by WhatsApp, by email. If you want to reach out, if you want to talk about your practice, I'm here to do that. But managing the Discord server was too much for me right now. So that's why I had to let go of that. And I know that that's a little bit difficult for some people. It's a little bit difficult for me too. But I feel like it is the right decision for now. And, that's my responsibility to make that decision. And I can't hand off that responsibility to someone else, you know. And great wisdom and great compassion and everything is spontaneous. It's now. So stop looking for the explanation. Stop trying to be so clever and start hearing the sound of the bell. Root causes of suffering. Root causes of suffering. I will say the root causes of suffering is the ignorance, the lack of knowing about the truth, okay? The lack of being concerned with the truth, and the uh, strong focus on getting pleasure and avoiding pain. Until we can open up a dimension of our lives truly that is fundamentally not about experiencing pleasure and not about avoiding pain, then we won't understand what enlightenment is. We won't really understand what peace is. We won't really understand what meditation is. We won't understand what the path is. You see? So that's why generosity and precepts are so vital, so essential. Because we have to open up, we have to crack the shell. It's a hard shell of getting pleasure, trying to get pleasure, and trying to avoid pain. And it's very, very deep. It goes to the deepest core of what you call yourself, right? This chasing after, trying to get pleasurable experiences and trying to avoid painful experiences or unpleasant experiences. This craving for something, this craving for someone, this craving for some state, some experience, some way of being, right? Some life, some place, some time, etc. It's very, very difficult to root that out. I am not fully enlightened, okay? I haven't got it yet. And it's my aspiration as a monk, of course, don't be a monk unless you want to get enlightened, unless you want to get free. And as imperfect as someone can be, that's how imperfect my enlightenment is, right? As perfectly as imperfect as someone can be, that's how perfect I am. All right, so that's just what it is. That's what I have to deal with. And I think that's what most people have to deal with on this journey of transformation of their suffering, and trying to change from being deluded and greedy and angry to being kind and free and at peace, right? Who is the sound of the bell? Who is the sound of the bell? Okay. Also, I'm a young person, so I hope people can understand. I also going through a lot of changes in my life and in my mind, and I'm trying to figure things out. So a part of the reason that the Discord was closed is because it's too much for me to manage right now and to be watchful over, to be responsible for right now. Uh, still figuring things out. I'm 31 years old. And it doesn't much matter if I've tried anapanasati meditation or if someone else has tried anapanasati meditation, as much as it matters if you're practicing it now. That's what anapanasati meditation is about, right? That's what listening to Dhamma talks is about. That's what the path is about. And we all have to learn how to arrive at the place of just getting started. Just do it. Just show up. Yes, you're depressed. Yes, you're anxious. Yes, you're a mess. Yes, you're a bad person or a good person, a wealthy person or a poor person. We have to get to that place somehow of just get started. Just show up. Just practice. And that's a very powerful mind. That's a very powerful mental state to be in, of just getting started. There's so many people, they can barely get out of bed in the morning. So instead of developing that mindset of being, this certain way of being, just get started. Okay? Stop identifying yourself with a certain kind of meditation. Stop identifying yourself with being at this level or that level on the path. Okay? Rigpa, Rigpa, Rigpa. A hit and a miss don't make home runs. All right? A hit and a miss don't make home runs. So we learn, Buddhism is about learning to come back to the center. Learn to return to the center. Don't worry now, right? Don't be anxious now. Don't be depressed now. Don't be relying upon complicated thinking now, and returning to the center. Yes, that's what I like to hear. You know, it's so encouraging when the meditation master that I'm staying with right now is a monk by the name of Poha Sunim, a really great Zen meditation master, Korean Zen meditation master. And I picked him up at the airport at around 4 a.m. and we came back to the temple, and I walked by his room, you know, maybe today or late in the afternoon after we arrived, and walking by his room, I saw his luggage was kind of opened up and semi unpacked and kind of, you know, scattered around a bit. And that was so encouraging for me. That was so inspiring for me, right? There's this constant idealism that seems to love taking root in my mind, right? I need to be an idealistic person. Everything needs to be clean. Everything needs to be prepared. I need to be perfectly enlightened. I need to be perfectly free, etc. Now, depending on what you're working with, right, the context for that mind, that can be very helpful, that it keeps pushing you, it keeps encouraging you. It means that you don't stop halfway up the hill and crawl into a cave and live the rest of your life there. So that's okay, that's good, right, because you keep going. But also how inspiring it is to see how full of shit we are and how full of shit other people are. Even kind, wonderful, compassionate people, wise people are full of shit, right? So we come back to the beating heart. We come back to the breathing. We come back to this moment being enough of not enough, the enough of not enough, right? It's so much not enough that there's just enough in that to come back to our center, to come back to the heart, to come back to the freedom, to come back to arriving at peacefulness, arriving at self love, arriving at detachment from thoughts, no matter how deep they are or strong they are, right? Detachment from self identity. And it's more like a principle. The practice, it takes time, but the principle is still true. It's still a true principle, even though it has a corresponding practice. Just like the principle, the principle of the bell is already here. The practice of the bell, okay? So we don't need to fake it. We don't need to make it. Just come home and abide in homefulness. Abide in the kindfulness of homefulness, of just just sitting here. Going deeply into meditation. Casey Beam has a question. Anyone, please ask your questions here. This is a Q&A live stream. So if you have questions, it will help. Casey Beam says, it will try to help. What would you say for someone who suffers with anxiety and panic disorder? I would say that there is enough peace without going to the shopping center. Breathe. And we need to meet our mind. We need to meet our body. The issue, kind of, is that there's this body and mind here that our awareness basically has no relationship with. Our awareness has relationship with TikTok and YouTube and watching movies and watching TV shows, okay, on Amazon Prime. So we have to bring the awareness home to the body-mind phenomena. We've got to get acquainted with ourselves. Because even if you have an anxiety or a panic disorder, even if you have quite serious depression, or you have mental health issues, you have major mental health issues, right? Is there not an opportunity in this moment, or in many moments like this, to, you don't even need to stop. Stopping is already. And to breathe and abide in the concentration of breathing, the kind, concentrated breathing. And get to know this stinking mess. Not ideal. You think the brain is ideal if you take it out and put it in your hand? This mind that's always jumping around and grasping and making stories and, complicating itself and tying itself in knots, right? This mind, this body that's full of shit and pus and blood and organs and tendons. It's kind of shocking when you recognize it like that, and yet it's fine. We're not having a panic attack. We're not freaking out, even though it's true, right? Organs and blood and tendons, and the mind's so crazy. It's so unstable. It's so tangled up and knotted so often, right? In anger, greed, delusion, nastiness, nonsense, right? So becoming acquainted with this living breath, this living sight, this living eyebrows. Okay? Become acquainted with the present moment direct experience and abide in that. Use that as a meditation methodology to be in the present moment experiencing. Not to get anything, not to go anywhere, not to get something, not to avoid something. Just sitting here like this. The bell rings alone. So we can approach it a few ways. Bante, what are you doing? What's going on? You're ringing a bell. What's this guy doing? Who's Bante Warapanyu? He's ringing a bell. What's going on? What's this person talking about? Okay? We can go on and on and on and round in circles. We can drive ourselves mad. Or we can just hear the sound of the bell, even in silence. The sound of our true mind, the sight of our true seeing, okay? The breath of our true breathing. And that breath of true breathing, or breath of present moment breathing, okay, is our access point for meditation. I can't explain it to you. I can't walk you through it. Okay, you're not here at a meditation retreat. And even if you were, it's wholly and completely up to you to practice, to put it into practice. And if you don't have a practice, well, then of course, nothing's going to help. It's like if you don't breathe, nothing is going to keep you alive. And so to that point, we can keep you alive if you don't breathe. The new world order of this moment, right? We can keep you alive if you don't breathe by hooking you up to a kind of breathing machine. But you can see then that this meditation is more than even being alive, more than even this body functioning. That's how profound it is. And so until you make the determination to practice with that and sit with that and practice meditation seriously and really practice it, um, no one can help you with anything. No one can tell you anything, right? Because you don't have that heart mind of present moment awareness. You don't have a connection to that. You don't believe in that. And if you're practicing that, well, then, let's hear it. Let's hear about your success. Let's hear about your failure. That's also generosity. When we practice meditation really and sincerely, no one can control us. At that time, we don't have a boss, we don't have a job, uh, there's nothing. Okay? All we have is the practice. I'm sorry, I was missing out on some of the messages here, dear friends. Okay, it's Rigpa, Rigpa, Rigpa. Should I do my social project work? Go for it. Do social project work. That's a great idea. Okay, Cody King says just closing your eyes and your body automatically becomes aware of the body. You become aware of natural breathing coming and going. Yeah, practice like that. Give it a shot. Bree says, I was asked to stand in for someone who offers meditation class with the park department near me, and on the way I saw a pair of deer, said to represent the first teaching of the Buddha, and it felt like encouragement, reminded me to take myself out of it. Chris, you'll have to elaborate. I don't really know what you're talking about. All right, Kuro, you're here. Okay, Bree says, what does Sangha mean to me? What does Sangha mean to me? Sangha is a community of generosity concerned with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. Okay? That's what it is. For me to say, what is the Sangha? Well, what is the Dhamma? Because the Sangha for me is nothing if not a community of generosity. And it's said by the Buddha or in Buddhism that the greatest generosity is the Dhamma. So what is the Dhamma? It is the untying of knots. Okay? It is the putting down of that which is picked up. It is that which leads to nibbana. It is truth, right? Anicca, dukkha, anatta, not self, not someone. Impermanence is life. And so who is the Buddha? Well, the Buddha is the enlightened one, the awakened nature, the peace nature, the true freedom nature. I mean, can't we really conceptualize that even for a moment? What if you took yourself, all your baggage, all your stuff, all your garbage, da 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 da, horrible, 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 this big sack of flesh and suffering and psychosis, right? What if you took that and it was free right now? Free from suffering, free from fear, free from anger, free from greed, free from delusions, at peace completely. Well, that would seem to me to be something like the Buddha. So the Sangha is the community of generosity that holds the Dhamma to be the highest and comes from and points back to the Buddha, to peace, to awakening. Okay? And we should all aspire to be Sangha builders, to build communities of that. That's what I aspire to build. And that is what I believe in. It's tough. So for Casey, who feels scared of what can happen or how you feel in life, take the time when you're in a safe place like this place to allow that feeling to be there. To not be afraid of fear. To not be afraid of the worst situation happening. To not be afraid of how you feel. To not be afraid of how the mind is. Right? Just to allow it to be the way that it is now and for that to be okay. And experience that, realize that, practice that, embody that, heart that, right? Heart that. It's not about picking up another idea to put into our earlobe. It's not about that. The what ifs are never ending. What if the sound of the bell doesn't ring when I hit this? The sound of the bell doesn't rely on what ifs. There is no what if in the sound of the bell. So if the mind is the problem, why not detach from the mind and take refuge in the sound of the bell? That's right. That's right. What if nothing goes wrong? We're always thinking about what if this goes wrong? What's going to happen? What's going to go wrong, right? Well, what if nothing goes wrong? Think of it like that. How are you going to deal with that? How are you going to deal with nothing going wrong ever again? And I guess that's also what the Buddha is about. That's what enlightenment is about. So how about I show you all a little bit the area of this temple that I'm staying at? Stop trying to do anything. Just breathe and experience not doing anything, not solving anything. Let's take a look at the mountain temple that I'm at. It won't be a tour, but I'll show you the temple. Robes are ripping, that's a good sign. When your robe starts to rip, you know you're doing the right thing. Yeah, I was hoping to do a lot more wandering on foot while I was here in Korea, but it seems like every day is supposed to rain, so Also injured my foot a little bit, so I have to let it heal. Yeah, Judith, I just got to South Korea yesterday, or the day before yesterday, and we'll be going to India soon. Are we still live? That is on the money, Kane. Much appreciated. Yeah, it's great. I think some members of our community will start their own Discord servers, and uh, they have all my support to do that. But I am not involved in that. Okay, if you have any other questions, you can ask before we finish.
어떻게 전화했어? 그래. 아니, 이제 하려고 했는데, 이제 상인이 어제 오셨잖아. 그러니까 이제 뭐, 그거 뭐 어떻게 된 일인데, 그냥 그런데 덕산서리한테, 근데 그 사람이 나이가 있잖아. 응? 얘기했는데.
Well, I've been barefoot for a while. Um, but here in Korea, they have a very strong culture about dirty feet, and their mindset about that is very strong. So they gave me some shoes to wear at the temple, but they're very much too small. And so I think we're going out into the village to get some shoes. But I have a very difficult time with shoes, with slippers, in that they often cut the tops of my feet. The skin on my feet is very soft, and going around and wandering around like I like to do, um, having open wounds is really not ideal. So I'm usually barefoot, but the shoes they gave me here, they're just little tiny kind of shoes, plastic Crocs for Asian people, and they don't fit my feet, so that's why I'm walking around strangely like that. Yeah, there are many ways to private message me by email. You can go to the website monklife.one, and there should be contact information there. And certainly we can finish with a chant. Okay. Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa. Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa. Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. You can repeat after me. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be at peace within themselves. May forgiveness fall like rain. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, 3 sounds of the bell.